Well, hello, race fans. Welcome to a new edition of This Week in Karting. It's episode number 37, August the 24th, 2021. My name's Rob Howden, and we'll be joined, of course, by David Cole, our managing editor at ekartingnews.com. For those of you who may not tuned into one of our This Week in Karting podcasts, really our opportunity to take all the news and info that got its way to the homepage on eKarting News, tidy it all up, package it in this podcast, perfect for your morning or afternoon commute, or if you're in the garage working on the cart, heading to the track, whatever it may be. Great way to get up to speed on everything that's happening in the sport of karting here in North America. This edition of This Week in Karting is presented by Briggs Racing. Briggs & Stratton is powering Operation Grassroots around the world. No other engine manufacturer is getting new and returning drivers to the kart track like the Briggs 206. The out-of-the-box performance of the Briggs 206 provides the most fun, excitement, and reliability of any karting engine on the global market. Learn more about the 206 engine and the history behind Briggs & Stratton's century-long commitment to motorsports at www.briggsracing.com. Briggs & Stratton Racing, what powers you? Little burble there, David, at the start. I feel like I haven't done one of these for a while.
You need to get down on the needles on the carburetor and adjust a little bit.
That's it. I think I'm a little lean right now. To be honest, I got my first coffee in my hand right now. It's 10:10 here in California time. So a quick little stop over here in Cali, and then off to the next event at New Jersey for the road to Indy. Of course, you've got more events coming up this coming week. Week and a half away to Rock Island. But let me get this coffee meal. Dial myself in.
Well, I just had lunch, had some tacos, so I'm all
nice,
fired up, as they say, ready to go and talk about a lot of the news that came in. Again, summertime, not much is going on in terms of breaking news, but getting starting to look beyond the December 2021 calendar.
That's it, right? That's the big thing.
And kind of looking that way, and just little things here and there that are popping up for the end of the year as well.
That was like this past week. Everything I saw this past week was 2022.
And there's more coming. We have more information coming. We're talking to a couple other programs that are sorting out some of their dates or locations for the upcoming season or the next season. So a lot of intriguing dates and announcements being made.
Yeah, indeed. Let's kick things off first and foremost with the SuperKarts USA crew announcing their 2022 dates for both their Winter Series and the SCUSA Pro Tour. Winter Series is going to be January 7th, 8th, and 9th, and February 11th, 12th, and 13th. So essentially that second weekend of both months, although January 7th to the 9th, almost the first week of the year. Winter Series, David, but they did not come out and actually say straight up that they're going back to Homestead. I have to believe that's where they're going to go, but no confirmation on that with the press release.
Yeah, I'm thinking with the just the dates, that's kind of leaving the door open for the opportunities to kind of see what's out there, what's possible. Homestead's been the home for the series for the last since it began, really. Aside from the first, I think, year where it went to Ocala as well, but you hear a lot of different viewpoints. It is good to be just situated in the state of Florida at one racetrack. You have the opportunities to do two different layouts for the two different events. So I think that kind of helps, but I think that it's good to kind of review different options out there for the Winter Series, because if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, it gets tiresome.
Yeah, and there's a reason for it, right? The Winter Series is all about drivers in the IAME program getting a chance to get out of the gates in January and February. Obviously Supernats is moving to December this year. In years past, it's been November, so guys have been off and not really racing at all for about 6 weeks. A lot of drivers, potentially those up north, if they don't go to the Supernats, you haven't driven for 2-3 months. So good to have an opportunity to get this going, kind of like the preseason kind of a deal, spring training, if you will, for the Winter Series. Again, that program actually started back in the SCUSA. It was a SCUSA Florida Winter Tour. I remember going to the second ever event. I think it was 1999 was when SCUSA first got themselves down there and got things rolling with Jim Murley and the crew. Bill Wright later took over the SCUSA program. It's been going for quite a lot of time. Pro Tour coming out as well, David, and the dates significantly different. That was kind of the shakeup for me when I saw what dates were coming out. Same events, obviously, same venues as well. So both event name, and venue consistency. Winter Nats, the Winter Nationals back to NOLA Motorsports. Spring Nationals heading back to Utah Motorsports Campus, and as we have for the last many years, capping things off at the Summer Nationals at Newcastle Motorsports Park. But it was normally first weekend of March, first weekend of May, and then really the first weekend or second weekend of August. Everything changing, David, this time. April 1st, 2nd, 3rd. First weekend of April now for the Winter Nationals.
Yeah, making it a little bit later. I think that kind of helps give teams a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
March seems to be a busy month. It was in 2021 for sure. We were split one weekend, plus I was at another race. So I was gone at least 2 weekends. You were gone, I
All of
believe,
them.
2 weekends as well, too.
No,
So
I was got all of them with my Road to Indy stuff,
um,
too.
I think that helps in terms of getting everybody to kind of recharge.
Yeah.
With that gap between the end of the Winter Series and the beginning of the Pro Tour, so that kind of helps that. It is a unique weekend or a weekend because 1st of April, I'm thinking NCAA March Madness. So hopefully, the tournament doesn't go to New Orleans anytime soon. if we continue with the Winter Nationals, because that'll be a bit of a chaotic weekend to try and get hotel rooms and stuff like that, and travel costs and everything like that. But
Indeed.
it does help. I don't know about winter or weather-wise. Is that going to be a positive in terms of conditions for Winter Nationals at NOLA? I'm
Yeah.
not sure if that's going to help, but the Spring National is really what threw me off because May has been typically the annual month for that, aside from I believe the opener in 2010 and Sonoma was in April, but I think it was late April almost. So moving into June, that's a unique move or an interesting move for that.
Indeed. You said, Utah Motorsports Campus, June 10th, 11th, and 12th, this year's Spring Nationals, and capping things off. Summer Nats has always been mid-August, David. This time, though, the final weekend of July 29th, 30, 31 for the Summer Nats.
It's kind of bounced back and forth. If I recall, I want to think the first Summer Nationals at Newcastle was in July. I think just things kind of, they moved it to August to kind of help spread some of the events out. I think I'm not quite sure what happens. It's something I haven't really reviewed yet because this is pretty fresh news and haven't looked back at the previous years and dates of the event. That's something I'll have to put down in my Excel spreadsheet. Maybe that'll help us.
There it is.
But I think this more line has to do with the Newcastle Motorsports Park itself. Talking with Mike Adams, kids are in school when we were at the Summer Nationals just 2 weeks ago. So it's very hard to staff the racetrack because a lot of his workers are either in college or in high school.
Okay.
So it kind of helps allow them to make sure they're staffed and ready to go. But then I also think it helps, for those kids that are going into school to be able. It's more of that summery feel, I think, in July rather than being in August.
Interesting for sure. But there is your lineup, folks, for the 2022 Pro Tour, April 1st, 2nd, 3rd, Winter Nationals at NOLA, June 10, 11, 12, Utah Motorsports Campus. It's for the Spring Nats, Summer Nats back to Newcastle, end of July 29, 30, 31. East Coast drivers getting things lined up as well, David, as the United States Pro Kart Series also releasing their 2022 dates. Only 2 venues. Although, let's say this, moving up with the 4 races, only 2 venues locked in. It's going to start March 3rd, 4th, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. But a TBD for both the first 2 races, David. What are your thoughts on that opening March weekend in the USPKS? Always, it's been Ocala, right? But Ocala, of course, no longer available, gone. Where did they go? Any thoughts?
Yeah, it was Ocala. Aside from the COVID year, because we had that event canceled. And then obviously after we were there this past March for the USPKS event, they decided to tear up the racetrack and it is gone. So that kind of helps narrow down the options available in Florida. When you look at the USPKS program and the size that the opener was and the size that the second event at Newcastle and the third event at Road America, you have to have a facility that has a paddock.
That's it, right?
You look at Orlando, that doesn't have a paddock at all. Mm-hmm. I don't know how that could work. Jacksonville, no paddock whatsoever there as well. Homestead has a paddock. Are we going to go all the way down there? Are we going to, is Winter Series going to be 2 races there and then USPKS opens up in March there? I don't know. But the release said Florida. I don't know. Homestead would be my only guess if it is in Florida. Other than that, it could be somewhere else. It could be Enola. It could be, another facility in the South. I mean, I don't see why we couldn't race that GoPro in March. It's not too bad in North Carolina.
Sure.
That's an option. Maybe even Charlotte. Charlotte Motor Speedway and the kart track there. I don't know. Florida, I would just have to go with Homestead. If it for sure is going to be the state of Florida, it's going to be Homestead or a facility that does not have a kart track.
Yeah, I don't personally don't think that they'll try to do a temporary circuit, right?
I don't see it. They would have to work with another organization or a group that has the manpower and the material to make it happen.
And everything. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so second event of the 2022 USPKS, April 28th to May the 1st, another TBD, Southwest US. Is that what we're thinking?
That is what the release said. And again, you're thinking, okay, well, this is going to be something on the other side of the Mississippi River. And that's going to be the first time the series is ever going to go in that direction. So you got to think Texas right off the top of your head because that's technically considered Southwest U.S. Am I correct in that? So
yeah, I would think.
I don't know what facility could hold the size again of the event. It's very similar to what a Pro Tour paddock would be, and as we're seeing now with the Pro Tour, it's pretty stuck in the facilities it can go to, in being NOLA, Utah, and Newcastle. So
yeah, just for the paddock size, right?
I'm not quite sure where. I think Amarillo could be a possible location that has the size there.
Yeah, there's lots of room
and the ability to hold everybody. I'd love to go to the Rudolph track, but I just don't think it has the paddock size to be able to host the event.
I wonder if there's a chance to kind of expand a bit there at Speed Sports, because that would be the logical choice. You would think, right? Speed Sports.
Yeah, and we haven't talked as far as I know. Alan Rudolph hasn't said anything about expanding the facility, so who knows. Dallas Karting Complex is talking about making changes to their facility, but nothing has broken ground.
Yep.
So you're looking at less than 7 months, less than a year to try and turn around and make it ready to go.
That's true.
For the end of April, beginning of May, what USPKS has listed. But Southwestern US is what's listed on the release, and we'll see what happens. Again, that's something we're going to have to maybe get Mark Coates on a face-to-face and get a little more in depth.
There you go. We'll grill him. Here it is.
We'll put him on the hot seat instead. How about that?
Yeah, I like that. We haven't done a hot seat show in a while. So TBD for the first two. So March 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th for round one, April 28th to May 1st, round number 2. Round 3 and 4, dates and venues locked. July 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, Briggs & Stratton Motorplex at Road America, what will be named next year, Briggs & Stratton Motorplex at Road America in Elkhart Lake, and September 15th to the 18th, Newcastle Motorsports Park, Newcastle, Indiana. Again, 6 weeks from the end of the Pro Tour, so quite a ways into September for the finale at Newcastle. Just with the momentum, David, that the USPKS has this year, you got to think that 2022 is going to be absolutely massive. Now that move into the Southwest, they're taking the numbers that they have, this momentum, and saying, hey, guys, we're trying to make this more of a national series and go in Southwest. Like you said, other side of the Mississippi River, that expands kind of the reach area of the USPKS.
Yeah, we've always talked about having multiple series is not an issue. And if you look at it as an IAME racer, you put the SCUSA schedule together with the USPKS, and you essentially have one major event a month.
That's it.
From January until, depending on when Super Nationals is scheduled, either November or even December, if you want to include, WK the Daytona Kart Week. So you basically have one major event every month. We still have to kind of plot in the IAME USA Grand National Championship. That was in August, end of July, beginning of August, which is now, kind of would be where the Summer Nationals is. So you're going to have to expect that event is going to be moved to some other month that's not already filled. So you're looking at October,
October. Yep.
maybe a May. Who knows what if they want to do it early to kind of get the tickets out there, maybe make that kind of move for that type of event. Not sure yet. Nothing's been confirmed by them, but so you're looking at either May or October for that. And then you have Super Nationals either in November and December, and you got a full calendar for major events, and especially for all the major teams that follow both programs.
Yeah, and to be honest, it's kind of spacing itself out really, really nicely right now. If the IAME USA Grand National Championships ends up being October, like you said, essentially one big race a month through Winter Series, Pro Tour, USPKS, and then that event right through the Super Nationals, really one a month. So 12 major races for IAME racers. So very, very cool to see that roll out. Start of the show, Dave, I talked about the fact that you were going to be heading back to the racetrack soon. It's back to a race that you haven't been at for a couple of years with the hiatus due to COVID last year. The Extreme Rock Island Grand Prix back at it for 2021. And David, the focus really is to kind of take a different approach to the overall fan experience, racer experience to a certain extent. Their most recent press release say they're ready to turn up the energy. Let's talk a little bit about some live music they got going on.
Yeah, that's going to be a major factor point in turning up the energy, is that the off-track entertainment that we've always spoke about with the Rock Island Grand Prix. In recent years, it quite hasn't been there. I don't know if it's just the fact that businesses there weren't supporting it, or that the event itself just wasn't producing the spectatorship that it had in the past. Again, it's hard to tell when you're zooming around there 60 miles an hour exactly how many spectators are there.
True.
if you don't ever move from the front stretch or when you're driving. So so they're focused on redoing that, because as we know, in years past, the Travoltas were a big hit. You had probably anywhere between 500 and 600 people down there for those concerts every Friday,
yeah,
or Saturday and Sunday nights. So music again this year, coming back. Saturday live music is probably going to be the focal point. Scott DuBois and the 101 Ranch will be at the Billy Bob's Redneck Party Bar. If I recall, that used to be a bar we used to attend frequently back in the early Rock Island days. So we'll see how that atmosphere is like this year when we return back. So excited to see that, and other things that they'll have going on. So that, I think that's going to be a key aspect, is again making it entertainment again off the racetrack as well.
The great thing about the Rock Island Grand Prix is it's not just the race itself. A little more relaxed atmosphere for the racing itself. Lots of track time still, but more relaxed atmosphere. And everything that happens afterwards. Everybody, you're going out for dinner. It's the concerts. It's the whole event. It's all right there. It's almost like a mini Supernats to a certain extent. You stay at the hotel that's right there, if you can get a room there, obviously, and everything. I've always loved the atmosphere of Rock Island. Let's focus a little bit more, David, on the actual racing itself. Registration's still open, folks. This event, of course, happening in Rock Island, Illinois, on the Labor Day weekend. It's the Labor Day Classic, The Rock. They actually came up with some updated Ignite rules in terms of spec gear and tires as well. You want to give us a little more information on that?
Yeah, when we say updated, it's updated from what they had published for this year.
Yeah.
This is nothing new to the Ignite racers who have been there in the past at the Rock Island Grand Prix shootout for the Ignite racers. Basically mandating a 19-tooth clutch sprocket, so everybody's on the same there. So you only have to worry about the rear gear changing there. And then tires. They're not going to require you to be on brand new tires when you begin an event. So you can start on race old tires, 2 race old, or even 5 race old tires. It's again that Ignite karting format of just everybody's on the same package, everybody's on the same, very similar tires. New tires are not going to make you 3/10 quicker compared to 5 weekend old tires. Even some people race the older tires because they're better.
Yep.
Or they feel better at least. So yeah, it's again nothing new for the Ignite racers, but another kind of a clarification of, hey, we mistakenly had this wrong in the rule book, but we'll go back to what we had before.
If you have not done the Extreme Rock Island Grand Prix as of yet, it's a bucket list event. Figure it out, get it done, get to this race. Registration still open. The Labor Day Classic, definitely one to cross off the bucket list for sure.
I think the King of the Rock races and the 100cc and Briggs are going to be pretty exciting races because those will be the big money races. Everything else, you're racing for the Rock Trophy again, still one of the most coveted trophies in our sport. And as you said, it's a bucket list event.
David Cole will be there with EK and Trackside Live, presented by Cooper Tires. Of course, live coverage on Saturday and Sunday. No Friday practice here, just a Saturday-Sunday program. So make sure that if you have that weekend off, folks, get to the racetrack or tune into the EKN Radio Network. Time for our first quick break in the action. After we get back, we're going to head actually to the West, give you three segments of news coming from the West Coast. Stay with us. More to come here on This Week in Karting. In karting, it's important to be supported by the right people. With over 40 years of experience in the sport, Trinity Karting Group has everything you need to make your program successful. We do it all, and we do it right. Trackside support and Arrive and Drive programs are available in 2021 for the USPKS and the SuperKarts USA Pro Tour and Super Nationals, with full product sales and service and professional coaching from our experienced staff. Trinity Karting Group is a full-service operation based at the Motorsports Country Club of Cincinnati, which gives us access to our custom-designed driver training facility. This allows us to offer private, one-on-one coaching to take you to the next level. Trinity Karting Group is also your Midwest home for Tony Kart and IAME, and we're your source for MG and Avinco tires in the region. Tony Kart quality cannot be beat, so call us today to put you in a new chassis for your next event. From Arrive and Drive and coaching programs to the parts you need, let Trinity Karting Group provide you with customer service and a racing experience second to none. Trinity Karting Group has a long history in the sport, a winning pedigree, and we're dedicated to driver development. We take pride in our professional approach and our positive attitude. Let us build a custom race program for you. Give us a call at 513-421-4463 or check us out online at trinitykartinggroup.com. Leading Edge Motorsports is the industry answer to winning in karting. At the helm is industry veteran Greg Bell, who has orchestrated the success of many drivers dating back to the mid-1990s. Based in Lodi, California, Leading Edge Motorsports is the Western importer with IP karting that includes the Praga and Formula K chassis brands. Leading Edge Motorsports provides in-depth driver development for those racers in Northern California and across the country. Arrive and Drive services, kart preparation, and driver coaching are available under the LEM tent throughout the season. Bell's record of working with drivers includes recent victories at North America's biggest karting events, including the Rock the Rio and the SCUSA Super Nationals. Greg Bell's knowledge for building engines spans 2 decades and is now under the Mega Power branding, providing a reliable engine service and tuning knowledge. No matter the chassis brand, choose Mega Power to get to the front. Click over to leadingedgemotorsports.com for more and find them on social media to stay connected. At Leading Edge Motorsports, winning never gets old. Hey, take a look at your trophy case. Do you see a Duffy in there? If you're missing one of the most iconic trophies in American karting, you'll get another chance at one this October when the International Kart Federation Sprint Grand Nationals takes over the Prairie City Kart Track in Northern California. The remodeling of Prairie City under the management of the Durbin family has been a highlight story in NorCal karting, and the Durbin's passion and dedication for the sport will make the track the ideal host for 2021. The 2021 IKF Sprint Grand Nationals will focus on the Briggs 206, KA100, and Mini Swift categories and is set for October the 15th, 16th, and 17th. There will also be an 80cc shifter class at the event, and we're expecting big numbers. Bring out your 80 and play. The Durbins are ready to roll out the red carpet at their facility, and plans are underway to make this race the best Grand Nationals in years. Registration will open on September 1st, so get that entry confirmed to take your shot at becoming a Duffy winner. For more information, head to www.ikfkarting.com/IKF-sprint-Grand Nationals. Welcome back to the 37th edition of This Week in Karting. My name is Rob Howden, joined by David Cole, live here, of course, first on the EKN radio network, then we turned it into podcast form. David, one of the events we finally got locked in, people were asking questions about it. When were the IKF Sprint Grand Nationals going to be? What was the date? What was the track? Well, finally getting out there, confirmed that the 2021 IKF Sprint Grand Nationals heading to Prairie City Kart Track in Rancho Cordova, California. The Durbin family who took over that track about 2 years ago, I think. They've done tremendous work with that. The date, October 15th, 16th, and 17th. It's a Briggs program. It's KA100. It's Mini Swift. They've added 80cc shifter as well as the 9th class. It's just going to be a good time. And you know that when you're going to a place that the Durbins have, it's going to be a great event.
Yeah, that 80cc shifter category just came into us from Donald Durbin, confirming that was going to be the 9th class. They kind of left that open, getting some feedback from racers. So that's kind of a breaking news in this podcast here. Briggs categories, Junior 1 and Junior 2, that's your cadet and junior divisions, along with Senior Masters and Grand Masters, which is essentially your Super Masters division. KA 100 Senior and Junior will fill out those two categories for that engine package. And as you said, Mini Swift will kind of round it out with the 80 shifter division. So 9 opportunities for drivers to race for the historic IKF Duffy Trophy in those categories. And that's always one trophy you want to have on the mental.
Yeah, we talked about before the break, obviously talked about the Rock, that trophy you get from Rock Island. Definitely one of the iconic trophies in our sport. Like, so over 25 years now for Rock Island. Same goes obviously with the IKF Grand Nationals. This is a historic event that dates back into the 60s. So the Duffy Trophy, again, one of the most recognizable trophies you can get. The IKF, of course, Grand Nationals, so many major drivers and now current pros have had a chance to run in the IKF Grand Nationals. A chance to win that Duffy Trophy. Again, the event October 15th, 16th, 17th. Online registration, David, opening up on September the 1st. A Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday show. Open practice and move in on Thursday. Official practice and qualifying on Friday. Warm-up, Heat 1, Heat 2 on Saturday. And warm-up, finals, and the awards on Sunday. I like the layout. In years past, those of you who have been new to the sport, this used to be a midweek deal, right? This is what karters did. You took your summer holidays and spent a week at a track midweek, and that's when you had the Grand Nationals, right? That's the way they used to do it. But again, Thursday to Sunday in our new day approach.
Yeah, the IKF Sprint Grand Nationals used to be basically like what the Super Nationals is, but now that we have the Super Nationals, a lot of these special events have kind of moved away from that full week commitment that you're asking of competitors, where this is still, like as you said, it's a great format in terms of scheduling, because it doesn't put a lot of pressure on drivers and team and competitors to be at the racetrack all day long. So it's spaced out throughout the weekend. So that's good. And again, everything doesn't really start until Friday. So again, a 3-day format. Everything wraps up on Sunday with the main events, and then you have your awards afterwards. So it doesn't make for a grueling long weekend, but and I love that type of. It provides a better atmosphere, I feel, for an event such as this. And again, kind of hitting that grassroots with the Briggs and KA 100 divisions.
Yeah, that's really what the IKF is focusing on now. Those Briggs and KA 100 categories, as you said, should be a tremendous weekend at Prairie City Kart Track. Again, Don Durbin Sr., Don Durbin Jr., they've come into that facility and really spruced it up, made it look great, and they're just passionate about the sport. Just chatting as we have with Don Durbin Jr. over the last couple of weeks. They're planning a tire changing contest. I know they have plans for a barbecue one of the nights as well. The idea is to have that atmosphere where people are there to have a ton of fun, race for the Duffy. But again, just to kind of rekindle, and they've done this over the last number of years, rekindle that spirit of the Grand Nationals and the Duffy Trophy.
Yeah, it's one of those trophies that, again, as you talked about in the past, was really the trophy everybody wanted every year. Yep. Now we have so many different events, series, programs. It's kind of been lost, and that's something that IKF is certainly on trying to gear towards. Again, grassroots, make it grow from the bottom up. And if the drivers at the local level want this trophy, they'll go after it.
Exactly that. Staying with the West, the KPX Karting Championship has confirmed the cancellation of their Battle for the West event. They had decided to adjust the remaining 2021 schedule. The race that the KPX Karting Championship had in August actually has been canceled. They've moved that event to September 25th and 26th at the Prairie City Kart Track, the one we just talked about, the Durbin's facility. And actually, David, moving their finale up to October 9th and 10th at Prairie City, essentially becoming a warm-up for the IKF Grand Nationals.
Yeah, it kind of blends in well together. KPX has been one of the top regional programs in the Northern California region, so it helps to work with them. They do follow IKF standards in terms tires and I believe engine structure as well too. So, and a lot of the same classes that are in the KPX program are going to be at the Grand National. So, makes for a good tandem working together. And as you said, their finale. I believe I want to say this will be their sixth round of the 2021 schedule. Ends on October 9th and 10th weekend. Is going to be a great warm-up event for maybe nobody or a lot of the Southern California drivers, anybody from the Rocky Mountains wanting to get that extra practice in and be able to get geared up for the IKF Grand Nationals.
Indeed. Let's talk a little bit about Rotax as well. Race Rotax here in the U.S. J3 Competition taking over the Rotax program a couple of years ago, and they've really done a good job focusing on rebuilding the Rotax program on the grassroots level, the club level, to get that that pool of drivers. Rotax was so huge in the U.S. here for many years, and then kind of hit that roadblock, a little stumbling, and they've come back and pressed the reset button and are building on the regional level. They got a program in the East that wrapped up earlier this year, the Race Rotax Trophy Series East. Well, now the Race Rotax Trophy Series West set to kick off actually this coming weekend, David, August 27th to the 29th at the awesome Grand Junction Motor Speedway in Grand Junction, Colorado. All the Rotax categories will be running there, and then they'll head to the Phoenix Kart Racing Association October 1st, 2nd, 3rd in Glendale, Arizona for the second rounds of the Race Rotax Trophy Series West. Engine rentals are available, but David, this is again another one of the regional series. They had the one in the East, already gave some Rotax Grand Finals tickets for Team USA. They're going to do the same thing this coming weekend and into October as well for the West Coast drivers.
Yeah, and a lot of teams and competitors were already in Grand Junction this past weekend, getting a little test and tune in for
Nice.
This coming weekend. A lot of young drivers, so there's probably going to be a lot of young minis and micros there. And again, that structured, that simplified class structure, micro, mini, junior, senior, and masters, all just 5 categories to go through the Rotax program. So, and as you said, Rotax Grand Final tickets on the line. So that's again the opportunity to represent your country and your family and everybody who's supporting you overseas against all the best in the world in the specific category that you're in. No other event like the Rotax Grand Finals.
Yeah, we call it the Olympics of karting, right, David? It's just an amazing event for sure. And again, so those dates for the Race Rotax Trophy Series West this coming weekend, August 27th, 28th, 29th. And then, of course, the finale the first weekend of October 1, 2, 3 at Phoenix Kart Racing Association in Glendale. Engine rentals are available. So if you're not a Rotax guy, but you got your kart, you want to go racing this weekend, you can get an engine rental from J3 Competition. They'll hook you up, and away you go racing. And I think, Dave, just the one engine, obviously, and one set of tires, I believe, as well, right, for the entire event.
I'm not sure if it's qualifying or if it's including practice, because I know some of the events they were doing they were doing practice, but I believe they have enough practice where they're not doing it for that. So yeah, once qualifying begins, you're on that one set of tires throughout the weekend, and the Mojo tires, we're hearing a lot of great feedback on the new version of those Mojo tires. Certainly keeping the wear down so they don't fall off in terms of lap times as the weekend progresses.
Yeah, good consistency and reliability. That's awesome. And indeed, so this program obviously continuing to grow. Great to see it. And again, just watch what Rotax is doing. It's been such a fantastic program. It's a great engine. And of course, J3 Competition doing an awesome job getting things dialed right in. Another break of the action here, folks. When we get back, we're going to go back to the East Coast, talk to you about a series happening up in essentially the Northeast to a certain extent. And we've also got some industry news for you as well. More to come on this edition of This Week in Karting. It's the dream of any athlete making their national team. And in our sport, that's Team USA and the Rotax Grand Finals. It's the Olympics of karting. You too can wear the red, white, and blue at the Rotax Grand Finals in Bahrain this December, and you can earn your ticket by competing in the Race Rotax Trophy Series West. The Trophy Series East has already named 5 Team USA members, so who's going to take the tickets in the West? Rotax Racing is back in a big way in the US, and 2 iconic venues will host this year's Trophy Series West events. The series kicks off at Grand Junction Motor Speedway in Colorado on August 27th to the 29th, and the finale is set for October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd at the Phoenix Kart Racing Association track in Glendale, Arizona. It's a focused 5-category class structure, and each weekend requires just 1 engine and 1 set of tires. For more information on Rotax Racing in the United States or the Race Rotax Trophy Series West, head to www.racerotax.com. You can buy all the latest and greatest products on the market, but when you're karting to win, it boils down to one thing: you, the driver. Gain the knowledge and abilities by investing in yourself at the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy, and you'll find those extra tenths of a second you need to put yourself on the podium. The school was established by SuperKarts USA Hall of Fame driver Alan Rudolph, with decades of victories and championships in multiple forms of the sport, including other disciplines of racing. The Alan Rudolph Racing Academy, located at the Speed Sports Racing Park in the metropolitan Houston area, is designed to teach driving skills at all levels. The instructors of the Academy have decades of racing experience and educating drivers of all ages. Classes at the Academy will teach the concepts and skills needed both behind the wheel and off the track. From the beginning kart racing experience and intro to karting courses, to their advanced 1-day and 2-day courses and karting clinics, the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy can improve the skills of any driver. For more information on the specific programs that the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy can provide for you, head to speedsports.com and click on the Racing Academy page. Be sure to follow the Academy on social media by searching for Alan Rudolph Racing Academy. Acceleration Kart Racing is your first and only stop on the internet for karts, parts, and the safety gear you need to get you on the track. Visit shopakr.com for a great selection of karting equipment on a user-friendly website. Acceleration Kart Racing has aligned itself with many of the top manufacturers and distributors of the sport to ensure all the latest equipment is available to you, the racer. With over 20 years in business and customer support available 6 days a week, you can be confident about getting the right parts at the right price when you need them. Be sure to visit shopakr.com today or stop by their headquarters in Las Vegas. Make sure to follow Acceleration Kart Racing on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest specials and new arrivals. Welcome back to episode 37 of This Week in Karting. My name is Rob Howden, joined by David Cole, providing you with essentially all the news that has hit the homepage of ekartingnews.com over the last couple of weeks. We call it This Week in Karting. It surely ends up being This Month in Karting. We're so busy throughout the season trying to get these shows in. We talked before the break about the Trophy Series West, the Rotax program. We're going to get Justin Stefani from J3 Competition on a face-to-face show pretty soon, just to talk about that program. We'll talk about how the initial race went at Grand Junction, and then of course how the finale is lining up for Phoenix, and we'll talk about the Trophy Series East as well. Look at the drivers that were able to win tickets for Team USA. That's coming up probably in early September, so look for that on our YouTube channel. David, more news coming out of the Northeast. A lot of racing series. We talked earlier about all the 2022 stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on still here, like late summer into the fall. So we're not done yet with 2021. News hitting our desks about the Spartan Mid-Atlantic Kart Series, which is set for a 3-weekend fall schedule, essentially in the state of New York and in Maryland.
Yeah, this is kind of a carryover from what is the Rotax Trophy Series East program. All 3 of the same racetracks that are involved with it. So they kind of have a great core working relationship going on between the 3 of them. So they're like, well, we've already got this one series done. Why don't we keep going into the year with another 3 race program. This time they're welcoming a lot more because they have that multi-engine platform categories. So not just Rotax. So if you have IAME, Rock, Rotax, all different types of engines are being allowed in the different categories. Again, you can find more through the Spartan Mid-Atlantic Kart Series page on the Lafayette Motorsports Park website. And that is actually that was the site of the opening round, which just took place August 13th through the 15th. But they'll move to the Oakland Valley Raceway Park in Cuddybackville, New York, on September 11th through the 13th, and then close things out October 22nd through the 24th at the United Karting facility in Hanover, Maryland.
Yeah, Dave, it's cool. It's to see 3 tracks like these, the track owners working together like they have. Part of the Trophy Series East in the Rotax program, as you mentioned earlier, but having Lafayette, Oakland Valley Raceway Park, United Karting, all 3 of those guys working together, those team track owners, that's always a positive thing. Anytime tracks work together, it's going to be good for the sport. So kudos to all 3 of those owners to have those races put on. You got the kind of the spring series, kind of the fall series. I like the way they're lining things up at these 3 facilities.
Yeah, we had Tim Hannon on a couple of times in some of our face-to-face, and I want to say we had somebody from United Karting. I don't know why I can't think of his name right now. But yeah, they're not here for political crap. They're just here to provide the best karting experience anybody can get.
That's it.
And why not work together to provide that? And so it's a great little great relationship all 3 racetracks have going on. And certainly I want to see this happen more and more throughout our sport.
So there it is, folks. 2 more races still to go in the Spartan Mid-Atlantic Kart Series, their 3-weekend program. David mentioned already got things underway at Lafayette Motorsports Park on August 13th to 15th. Middle of September 11th to the 13th at Oakland Valley Raceway Park, and October 22nd to 24th, United Karting in Hanover, Maryland. The multi-engine program on MG Tires. Take a look at them on the Lafayette Motorsports Park Facebook page. Industry news, David, hitting our desks as well. Last couple of years, we've seen some pretty good success out of the Croc Promotion brand here in the U.S., but they're actually still here. They kind of went away a little bit. Croc Promotion USA kind of faded back a bit, but a new importer. It's HMA Export Import Inc. Ivan Bodnar, and I've known Ivan's for many years. If you've been in the sport for 20 plus, he was the MS Kart importer and distributor back in the late 90s and early 2000s. But he has stepped back up. His son is racing now as well and getting back into the industry. He knows this industry, has been in it for many years. He has picked up the importership of the Croc Promotion chassis, which I think should be interesting.
Yeah, as you said, has had a lot of success here in the United States. Shifter programs, and it built up a great tag 100cc frame, and a lot of the material that and frames that are produced are kind of geared towards the different tires and compounds that we do run here in the United States. So it's worked really well, especially their MC06 chassis for 4-cycle racing. Been geared towards the Briggs and Stratton, wave that we've seen here in the United States, and so they've actually developed a chassis around that engine to work here, and again, just success across the board with this chassis brand. Yeah,
we've seen a lot of race wins and championships on the Supercars USA Pro Tour, that kind of a thing. They have their MC01KZ chassis, the MC01OK chassis, the MC04 Cadet chassis, and the MC06 4-cycle machine, as David had talked about. Bodnar already getting things rolling with Croc Promotion, dealers in California, Oregon, and Indiana already, so working on developing that dealer network for that Croc Promotion chassis. You can look them up online as well. Final break in this edition of This Week in Karting. When we come back, David now just give you a synopsis of everything we've had coming out all through all the EKN platforms, whether it's the website, YouTube, podcast, you name it, EKN Radio Network. We'll give you an update on what you can check out if you have not yet looked online. Stay with us, folks. We'll wrap up this edition of This Week in Karting after this quick break. After a 1-year hiatus due to the pandemic, it's back. The world's largest karting street race, the Extreme Rock Island Grand Prix, is back and ready to light up the streets over the Labor Day weekend. The Rock Island Grand Prix is a must-attend bucket list race for all karters, and we hope to see you in September. The race is the biggest party of the summer in Rock Island, Illinois, and the festival weekend features a variety of racing classes, including those for the Briggs & Stratton 206, Margay Ignite, 100cc 2-cycle, vintage karts, and shifter karts. The King of the Streets for shifters and the new King of the Rock races for the Briggs 206 and 100cc classes will each pay $1,000 to win and will pay back 5 spots. It's 2 days of racing through the downtown streets of Rock Island, featuring drivers from all over the country from coast to coast, all competing in front of thousands of spectators. The 26th running of the Extreme Rock Island Grand Prix is an event that you want to put on your racing calendar. Registration is now open, and to learn more, head to racerockisland.info. It all started in 1994, when former successful kart driver Albino Parolin decided to move his passion for karting from the track to his small workshop. That's when Parolin was born. Fast forward 20 years, and Parolin's passion for the sport led to the company rejoining international competitions as a factory team in WSK and CIK FIA races, with the aim of enhancing the research and development process, immediately achieving notable results around Europe, North America, and Asia, becoming the CIK FIA Asia Pacific KZ champion in the same year. Parolin USA is North America's source for Parolin products, and we run a factory team at all of the major Superkarts USA and Rock Cup USA events. The Parolin chassis lineup for 2021 includes the Invader Shifter, the Le Mans Tag single-speed chassis for junior and senior classes, and the 28mm mini kart for the cadet classes. Parolin has been winning races all over the world, and it's on top of the podium in the USA as well, with drivers like Kai Sorensen, Mateus Orjuela, and Alessandro De Tullio. Get on the chassis that's winning. Drive a Parolin. For more information, head to ParolinUSA.com. In racing, experience is priceless. Franklin Motorsports is a leader in the karting industry with over 50 years of combined karting experience, and we can provide you with everything you need to go racing. With a large online product selection, select track support events, and a wide variety of shop services, Franklin Motorsports is your complete karting source. Check out our online store at www.franklinkart.com, where all our products are just a mouse click away. We're constantly adding to the growing product selection on the online store, and we ship daily to ensure products get to you quickly. We specialize in IAME engines, tilt seats, ceramic products, driveline branded products, Briggs & Stratton engines, OTK products, and of course, the championship winning Merlin chassis. In our online store, you'll find a variety of items to fill your karting needs. Franklin Motorsports is also known for our wide variety of services and is home to Innovative Engine Works by FMS, our in-house engine service department. Frame straightening, kart prep, and dyno testing are all services offered regularly at Franklin Motorsports. For all things karting, visit franklinkart.com. Welcome back to another edition of This Weekend Karting here on the EKN Radio Network. Rob Howden alongside David Cole. And David, lots of original EKN editorial going out throughout the last month and a half. Of course, first and foremost, of course, our race coverage of the 2021 SCUSA Pro Tour Summer Nationals. It was fantastic to be at Newcastle. Even more fantastic because Neil Strickland was able to hook us up with some level of air conditioning in the sweatshop over the scales at Newcastle. It was actually a pretty enjoyable weekend for us.
Yeah, it made for a comfortable weekend for us, so we weren't dreading being up there in the scale building attic, I guess sauna. You could call it. It's not really a second level; it's more of an attic. Thank you to Mike Adams again for getting us the proper equipment to stream from there and get your race call over the PA. And again, thank you to Neil for getting us the air conditioner. A lot of these schools up here in Michigan don't have air conditioning. They just need to put one of these in every room until, the beginning of, or the middle part of September to keep these kids cool in the 90-degree weather. Because all you got to do is vent out that heat that comes out of it, and it works well. Yeah, it keeps that enclosed area that we were in underneath the SCUSA tent inside, kept us nice and cool and comfortable to be able to provide the coverage all weekend long.
Yeah, of course, the daily race reports. David was doing the updates on Facebook and Twitter. We had a lot of stuff on Instagram, and of course, our live coverage throughout the weekend. We'll go into a list of all the stuff that David's been knocking out, but we did get another article, David. Begin Again, the traffic jam from Richard Seiler.
Yeah, the Begin Again series with Richard Seiler providing kind of his feedback and viewpoint of getting back into the sport and getting back to racing after some 30 to 40 years away, and enjoying his time kart racing, learning as he goes along, and again, helping to just rekindle that fun and excitement that is kart racing. And through his North Texas Carters program, the club that they have there. Obviously, it's a historic club and facility, but shifter kart racing has kind of died down in Texas, and he's certainly one of those that is striving for it to return and
Indeed
be
he is, yeah.
One of the catalysts in that. And so, again, we have a number of shifter kart drivers from the state of Texas. You look at Jake French, Jordan Musser, Ryan Kinnear, many others before them as well in the old Pro Moto Tour days. And so karting, shifter kart racing in Texas was certainly the cat's meow, as they say.
I would say this: if you're looking to rekindle just the love of the sport and the fun part of the sport, read all of Richard's Begin Again series. The newest one is awesome, kind of a grassroots push to get guys back to the racetrack. They're a really good read from someone who's getting back into the sport and really enjoying it. Because David, you and I all the time push how much fun karting is. Get the focus back on the fun. The competition's always there. We're all racers. We're competitors. We want to win. We want to do well. But the bottom line is the sport of karting, especially at the grassroots level, just about getting out and having a great time and being a racer, not just a fan. So again, if you haven't read them yet, have a look at the newest one, The Traffic Jam by Richard Seiler, the Begin Again series. Really cool editorial on EKN. Now, David. Okay, you go.
I was going to say, and if you're listening and you think like your region or your club area has a similar story, or somebody who would be interested, have them write something and send it in to us.
Good idea.
We're always open to hearing other people's voices, not just our own. We're tired of hearing and reading our own stuff over and over again. We love to hear and see what other people feel and think about our sport and how we can make it better or how we can grow. And that's really what it boils down to. That's why there is an ekartingnews.com.
Yeah, and there you go, folks. An open invitation to submit content. We'd love to hear from you. If you think you'd like to start a column yourself, let us know. Because David's busy, as I'm going to tell you right now, with what he's been doing here. David, an interesting thing for you, you've decided to come out, you pitched the idea to me, and I'm like, yeah, let's go for it. The 2021 Karting All-Star Team, essentially a mid-season deal. Pretty cool to be able to put some focus on some of the drivers who have done really well over the mid-season of this schedule.
I was watching, Sports Center or, just sports stuff. And
while you were talking.
Working, well, yeah, of course. Yeah. You multitask, Rob. It's multitasking. And I actually listen to a lot of talk radio, and it's mostly sports. And, they had the Major League Baseball All-Star program or, a couple days going on. And I'm like, man, yeah, we should come up with, we have our driver rankings, and that's good and all because it covers tag and it covers shifter carts. But I was looking at who to this point right now has kind of been really good this season, or who's just, we haven't, obviously there's drivers that we kind of pinpoint throughout, each race weekend. But if we were to say put together an Olympics, put a karting Olympic team together with senior, junior, master, and cadet drivers, who would be the three drivers we would pick to go? And that's kind of how I formulated my list that I made up.
Yeah, so if you haven't looked at that, go on to the homepage. It's the 2021 EK Karting All-Star Team that David put together for the midseason. A really good read. Speaking of the driver rankings, David updating those rankings as well for both the tag and the shifter kart categories as of August the 2nd, 2021. David, I'm really looking forward to the next one because obviously when it comes to tag and shifter kart racing, SCUSA Pro Tour, one of the biggest programs. And in the program is that whole summer festival. All 6 races last year, the Pro Tour running over those 12 days in Newcastle. Well, those 6 races, now that we've got this Newcastle, are going to be gone. So if you had success at Newcastle over those six races, you were on a roll at that track. You obviously helped your rankings. Those are gone. We're back to more traditional ranking. So I got to think you're going to see a bit of a shakeup when you do the calculations for Q3.
Yeah, I think I'm going to save it for possibly the first week of October. Kind of give that 2-month spread out that we
like
kind of been following.
Yep.
And again, hit it right before we get to the USPKS finale. So it kind of puts a little more emphasis on those trying to either get into the top 10 or be among the top 3.
Nice.
Because those drivers will certainly be at the USPKS event. And then it'll help gear us up towards the Super Nationals or the Rock Vegas and Super Nationals. That'll be in November and December.
A couple more race reports coming as well, although we weren't able to be trackside. David putting together race reports for the IAME USA Grand National Championship. A lot of great excitement around that event. A much different approach. People really, really enjoyed it, and I think it'll be even bigger in 2022. And last but not least, a race report for the Midsummer Mashup from the Texas Sprint Racing Series. They really have developed a fantastic regional program, David, for Texas Sprint Racing, and everybody stepping up, coming out to that event, which I think is great. We got lots of great clubs in Texas, but to have that strong regional series so crucial.
Yeah, and they'll be wrapping up. I just talked about Amarillo. They'll be wrapping up their 2021 season at Amarillo pretty soon. I'm not quite sure which weekend it was. I think it was in September. I'm trying to
fun racetrack. I'm going to tell you this right now.
Pull it up.
Amarillo. It's a scaled down version of the Istanbul Formula One track in Turkey. I had a chance to race there with Alan Rudolph on a Burrell when we had the Texas Pro Kart Challenge, and man, I enjoyed it. There's not much there, right? There's a track and one major building, but lots of room for paddock, as you said. Challenging racetrack. I had a ton of fun. It was great.
Yeah,
Loved
September 18th through the 19th will be the finale
for Texas Sprint Racing Series. So if you've never been to Amarillo, think about that, folks. That's it's a cool place. It's out in the middle of nowhere, obviously. It's Amarillo, Texas.
The track is out in the middle of nowhere. Yes. Amarillo is actually a city. It's not a blinking red light.
No, it's 100%. It's you got to go to the Big Texan for a steak. I found a badass pizza place down there as well. I think it was called 575 Pizzeria. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'll hit that anytime I go to Amarillo for sure. But yeah, think about that, folks. Let's look at our podcast, David. We've been kicking a bunch of podcasts out since our last show. Again, any of the podcasts, the shows we do here, always beginning first on the EKN Radio Network. Then we turn it into a podcast and really available at all the podcast outlets, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Podbean, iHeartRadio. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Please give us a review on it as well. Obviously, pushes us out further. But David, banging out a bunch of podcasts this week in karting, the last episode from July 19th. We had our outlap and debrief, our preview, and our race report podcasts for the SCUSA Pro Tour Summer Nationals. We did a face-to-face with the winners, the big winners at the IAME USA Grand National Championships, and we did our 43rd face-to-face talking to Roger Ruthart and Joe Janowski about the upcoming 2021 Rock Island Grand Prix. Really having fun with our podcast, and it's been fun this year doing the face-to-face actually on the YouTube channel, which I think has been great. Something new that we started kind of during COVID.
Yeah, again, it's something we've been able to continue since we began it with the COVID. Obviously we were forced into our basements and our bedrooms and our living rooms. So, it's been an easier way to kind of expand the coverage that we do trackside, or just the coverage that we provide weekly on the website in terms of industry news and updates and series information or event information. So it gives us that extra opportunity to dive in a little bit more in depth into those topics.
On the EKN Radio Network coming up this week, folks. Again, our EKN Radio Network, the only 24-hour, 7-day-a-week radio station for karting in the world. All of our podcasts coming up there, all our shows, everything. The first content we get, we put it out on the EKN Radio Network first. If you haven't downloaded the app, go do that on iTunes and Google Play. 24/7 karting content. Obviously, we're going to get this episode of This Week in Karting on throughout the week. But with Rock Island coming up, David, I love the fact that you also, because David, of course, manages the radio network as well. He does everything for us. Playing a lot of the Rock Island Grand Prix EKN live coverage events from the past. So really kind of cool if you flick on there, getting to listen to some of the older Rock Island Grand Prix. We've been going there a lot and streaming live coverage for many, many years.
2011, I want to say, is the oldest that we have
Oh,
available on the radio. So yeah, it's over 10 years that we've been doing it. I don't have every single year. I think we missed out on one year because we were too busy racing and we had some issues with the recording. But other than that, yeah, we're going to try and play as many as we can over the next days leading into the Labor Day weekend event to kind of get people that fix and that feel of what exactly is Rock Island Grand Prix.
David, we've been doing this for so long. I first announced that race in 1998, I believe, 98 or 99. I announced the shifter kart categories. But you think back about when we first started doing our live coverage, and like we were the live stream was different. We didn't have it's so easy to record stuff now, right? Everything gets recorded as soon as it's done. Back then, even when we were doing our happy hour podcast, it was so different. We were recording onto our own laptops. It wasn't live. Man, things have come a long way in 10 years. That's for sure.
Yeah, 2010, I want to say, is the first time we were live looking at my old folders that I have in here.
That's amazing.
But the recordings we have, the first ones were 2011. So yeah, it's been a long road. Like you said, we did live stream for a long time. So it was actually video, but mostly audio that we were streaming. We didn't do any video. We just had kind of graphics up there to kind of tell you what you were actually listening to. And then, yeah, we've moved into this Mixler thing, and it's kind of been a lot easier and less chaotic than the previous versions were. And yeah, as you said, it's gotten easier and easier to where we're able to produce live stuff now. Probably, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but we'll be doing some more live videos throughout the weekend while we're at Rock Island.
Yeah, lots of great stuff coming, folks. Again, let's wrap up the show with exactly that. What's coming up on EKN? A couple EKN trackside live shows. Again, big thank you to Cooper Tires, again, our partner for many, many years now on our EKN live program. Labor Day weekend, September 4th and 5th. David will be at the Rock Island Grand Prix in Rock Island, Illinois. And then, David, you'll kind of be at home for a bit, October 15th to the 17th, capping off this year's United States Pro Kart Series at GoPro Motorplex in Mooresville, North Carolina. Mooresville always doing a good job, the GoPro facility, drawing local drivers. They'll come out and play as well. I got to expect this event is going to be massive as well. Obviously the finale for the series, all the championships up for grabs, lots of money. And again, Mark Coates and the crew do a great job with their banquet as well. Lots of prizes going out to everybody there. That should be a fantastic race in mid-October.
Championships are going to be the key aspect of that weekend, and who's in the hunt, who's not. And who's going to be able to leave with the prizes and the titles that weekend. And then, yeah, Rock Island Grand Prix, not racing this year. So, again, I'll be able to provide a lot more coverage, going to do some more videos. Again, we're just going to talk to people, have a good time. And, that's a great thing about Rock Island. It's that one-off type atmosphere where we can have a good time with it. There's no focus on championships. So guys are just there focused on racing, but still to have a good time. And so we're going to do, I'm going to try and do some live videos here and there and some edited videos as well, some onboard videos, just a lot of other different things that we're going to do throughout the weekend. In addition to the live broadcasts, both Saturday for the heat races and Sunday for the main events.
That's exactly it. Stay tuned to all the EKN social media. You'll be able to see when we're going to go live. Obviously, just follow eKarting News on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Great way to see what we have going on. We're pretty heavily into the social media side, so keeping you connected with karting on social media. Folks, we're wrapped up for this edition of the EKN This Week in Karting. Thank you so much for tuning into the EKN Radio Network. We certainly appreciate it. Big thank you to all our partners as well. And, of course, Briggs & Stratton, the presenting sponsor of this edition of the show. On behalf of David Cole, folks, we are done. My name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.